Hi there, it's Paul with QMI, and here to talk about relationships and how sometimes the past relationships can actually be carried into the present and actually be an unconscious drive and causing you pain in your current relationships. When we were young, even from the minute we were conceived in the womb, we were subject to a lot of what was going on with our family. So how functional was your family when you were conceived, from the moment you were conceived until you were, say, 12 years old? And I'll bet you're going to find that there's some trauma of some sort. There are some patterns that you don't want to repeat from your parents. The thing is, we're so much more impressionable at those ages that unless we're actually willing to strip off our, the programming or the behaviors that are no longer serving us, that weren't necessarily ours, but it was just what we learned, can actually hold us back from being in our relationship and being there fully present and being yourself. It's interesting how a lot of the trauma that we experience as kids gets carried up and then just kind of rolls into the present, and actually, unless you stop it, can roll into the future. So the same thing goes on with you and your children, if you have them. What are your children seeing in how your relationship is with your spouse, or how your relationship is with the opposite sex or the same sex, if that so applies? Because this, especially in those ages, they're very impressionable, and those are some of the going to form some ideals and some beliefs that, unless addressed and given a context to kind of remove it and replace it with something that's more in alignment with who they are, they're actually living some of their parents' lives right now in the present. So if things aren't working, look and see who taught you that, and is it really yours? So it kind of goes in line with freedom. How much freedom do you have from your parents' trauma in your life? And then obviously you need to be kind to them because you chose them. So send them blessings, but at the same time, it's a good idea to kind of look at past patterns and see if any are actually being carried into the present, and are they positive or are they negative? And are those beliefs, are those ideals, are those experiences charging on an unconscious or a subconscious level you to react or be in any way that is not necessarily who you want to be? So something just to think about. It definitely can affect our abilities to actually be completely present and be who we are versus who we think we should be. So something definitely to look at. Everybody's going to have a different belief because we're all different, but it's definitely better to be yourself, obviously, than carrying forward ideals or beliefs from the past, because those most likely are not going to be yours. So make it a great morning, evening, or afternoon whenever you watch this, and until the next quick little video.